Hello, 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 hello. Hey guys, thank you for tuning in. If you are already in the chat, my camera is gonna die very soon. I forgot to charge my batteries, so you'll get to see a little bit of me right now. But for probably the rest of the stream, once my camera dies, it'll just be me testing out Higgs audio, and will be a faceless stream. So sorry about that. Forgot to charge my battery on my camera, and yeah, well, that's gonna suck. But see, some of you guys are already chatting. What's up, XF? Thank you for tuning in. Just a synopsis of what we are hoping to accomplish in today's stream. I deviated a little bit away from the Neurosama clone, aka the AI VTuber, and we are checking out Higgs audio. And so here it is, Higgs audio. This is it, Higgs audio. So we will be testing out this one, and I have high hopes for Higgs audio. I think it has the opportunity to be one of the best open source text-to-speech models out there. So we'll see about that, and we'll be running through some tests and doing a little testing here, and all of that good stuff. So yeah, what's up, nobody? Wake up! Thank you for tuning in. Long time no see. Remnifer, thank you also for tuning in. Welcome, welcome. Like I said earlier today, I'm going to be testing out Higgs audio. If you're unaware, Higgs audio was a text-to-speech, was an open text-to-speech, open source text-to-speech model that was released earlier this week, and it's showing some promise. And so that's what we are going to be investigating in today's video. So, or live stream, I guess. Yeah, not a video, but live stream. Okay, so a few things that I want to talk about with this text-to-speech engine, and why I believe it has what is it? Has Excuse me, hold on. Sorry. As I was saying, a few things that I want to go over Higgs Audio, why I think it has opportunity, and why I think it is going to be, if we're able to fine tune it, if we're able to develop on it, why I think it's probably going to be the way forward, probably for text to speech. What's up, Deadly AJ? Thank you for tuning in. Higgs Audio is able to use a system prompt to kind of guide the way speech sounds with it. And then it's able to, I think, have longer context for audio generation. So the way this operates seems to be very similar to how we have chats with large language models. So in large language models, when you are calling them, you usually have like a system prompt, a user prompt, and then some assistant prompts. And then you normally alternate between user and assistant prompts when you're speaking with LLMs. But in this case, whenever it responds back with the model's response, instead of giving you back text, it's just simply reading out whatever text you give it. So that's probably a bunch of mumbo jumbo if you're unfamiliar with LLMs. But yeah, we'll be going through this, and yeah. So I like to use the example of tsunderes from Japanese anime to specify for these types of LLMs that can change how they speak, just because it's a very pronounced way of speaking, and it's very what is it? Very gradable for me, at least, to be able to determine if a model can sound like a tsundere or not. So that's usually, this is what I have for the system prompt. This was a text to generate from it. And then I was playing around with this a little bit last night. So we are going to generate with this, and I'll go ahead and run it. Thank you for tuning in, Soma. Appreciate the compliments. I try to be as much as possible on the bleeding edge. I miss many things, but you know, we're trying to get better and better at that as we go along. Which is the best 11 Labs or 11 Labs like voice? I think the intent of your question is which one sounds most similar to 11 Labs. I would say Chatterbox TTS got fairly close at being really good. Zonos was really good too. I would give those two a look. This one has an opportunity to also be very good. And so that is kind of what I want to explore. And we do have some audio out of this. So here, we'll take a listen to it. A 30-second audio bit, which is pretty cool. That is a long audio generation, so we'll see if it's coherent here.
What? If that's supposed to be some kind of joke, it's not funny, you idiot. And if you're being serious, well, obviously, I don't want to deal with gross stuff either. It's not like I wanted to be here or anything. My mother she made this stupid agreement, and I have to go on at least one date per year, okay? Don't get any weird ideas about it.
Alright, so that's a little bit of an example for this sentence, and then this belinda.wave file, and then this belinda.txt. Now, that was a terrible representation of a tsundere, IMO, but what I wanted to further text, because I had this kind of experience with this, this is where I left off last night when I was testing it. I had this experience with it, and my thought process was, okay, it's probably because this belinda.wave doesn't lend itself towards how that style of speaker would generally sound. So I'm going to pull some local clips and some local audio that we can try out to try to induce that that style a little bit more and see where we can go from that. So this is how the Belinda.wave sounds.
'Twas the night before my birthday. Hooray, it's almost here. It may not be a holiday, but it's the best day of the year.
So that type of voice generally doesn't lend itself to being the stereotypical tsundere for like anime. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull some other audio files into here. Or actually, I mean, let's listen to some of the samples they give us here. Let me see.
The device would work during the
Nah.
tea party.
Yeah, probably Farina. I'll probably try Farina here.
You do talk an awful lot.
Mabel.
Ooh, wow.
Shrek. What is this?
This
What is that?
is gonna take forever. Why is everything so far?
Okay, maybe this Vex. Okay, we'll try it with this Vex audio. We're gonna try this real quick. Let's say Vex. Speak in a way that is, and then we're gonna change this instead of, let's say, tsundere, generate audio while sounding disgusted and tired. Maybe disgusted, tired, and and annoyed. All right. Let's change this to, well, let's say, let's do ask. Can you give me alternative sentences to this to generate? I have a system prompt for an LLM, and I'd like sentences that suit it. This is the system prompt. Go ahead. Say this is the system prompt here. This. All right. And then we'll say it should be the length of this. Should be about the length of this sentence here. Okay, so let's read chat. How much VRAM does this require? It's currently unquantized, and I don't think it hasn't gone through any like efficiency tuning. So it's 13 gigabytes of VRAM, recommended 24. I think I'll have to check what my task manager is telling me when I start running it. But it's gonna require a decent chunk of VRAM at the current moment. But from what I was looking at, I think this model can actually be converted into like a GGML model, hopefully with Llama CPP. And I don't know, we'll see how this. There are 3 models I'd recommend you try: Chatterbox TTS, Zonos, and then DMO Speech 2, and then maybe GPT Sovitz. But unfortunately, like every single text-to-speech engine, open source at least, it's case-by-case basis depending on how you want to use it. And yeah, so it's going to be something you have to test around and try out. Okay, so we've got some sentences here that was generated by Claude. Let's throw this in here. Already. So just to catch up some people who might just be tuning in right now, currently what I'm working on is Higgs audio. And Higgs audio is a new text-to-speech engine that was released this week. And I'm currently just trying it out and seeing what we can get out of it. Because I think it has some, I think it's got high potential. Let's throw this in here. All right, and I'm gonna run this, and then to respond to one of the questions earlier, let's see, task manager, services, and then GPU. Okay, so one of the questions earlier asked how much VRAM this requires. I'm currently running at 18 out of 24, but I was using 3 gigabytes before, so about 15 gigs of VRAM. Alrighty. Alright, to read the comments. Hey, I see your comment there, Haiti. Yes, I do enjoy talking to myself. I mean, I think most streamers need to be able to talk to themselves fairly well in order to be able to keep up a conversation. It also helps me maintain my thoughts so that we're not jumping all over the place. So, there's that at least. The audiobook maker is in a working condition. So, I will probably be doing maybe some more active development on it maybe the month of September. But there's a bunch of other things that I want to try out at the current moment. So I'm going to have to put some development on there on it on the back burner. But hopefully we can get some new text-to-speech engines in there. I was working on a Chatterbox package so that we could put so that I could put Chatterbox into the audiobook maker. So that should be fairly feasible to do because I've got the packaged version of Chatterbox to do that. So hopefully we'll be able to stick Chatterbox in there. And then there's some other actual just functionality, quality of life things that I need to work on for the audiobook maker, such as separating out sentences and sorting things out, chunking things out, and whatnot. So there's that as well. There's a repo that quantizes it and fits on 12 gigabytes. Yeah, what is the, do you have the repo name? I can search it up and take a look at it. Okay, so here we go. We've got the next bit of audio text to generate. And this is kind of like a more annoyed and disgusted voice. So let's see if it's able to maintain that style.
Are you actually kidding me right now? I've been on my feet for 12 hours straight and you think I want to touch that nasty thing? This is beyond gross, and I shouldn't even have to be here in the first place. My roommate owes me big time for covering their shift, and now I'm stuck dealing with the most disgusting part of this whole operation. I swear, if one more person asks me to do something revolting today, I'm going to lose it.
Interesting. So this one actually sounded, I wonder if there's a limit to the length of generation that we can do with this model before it starts breaking down. Let me see. Alright, we have this bit here, which should be about a minute and 30. So we'll see if we can even fit this generation in here. Higgs audio quantized. Alright, I'll take a look at that. What's up, Ryan? Thank you for tuning. Driving home from Florida. Man, drive safe, brother. Watch out for those Florida men out there. Yeah, currently just, testing out some new text-to-speech engines out here as per usual. But nothing too crazy, so. Higgs audio quantized. I searched up Higgs audio quantized, and I couldn't find it on GitHub. By chance, do you have the author's name for it? Hey, that's all right, man. Oh, there goes my camera. Like I said, my camera's probably gonna die. Hey, your gym gains should with with 4-bit quantization. I think, let's see. Here it is. This is it, right? The quantized model. Okay, cool. Well, I'll have to check this out. I'll have to try this out. See if the quality maintains and is pretty much the same. Okay, so that's good to know. I'll add this to the list of things to look at. I do have this audio sample here, 40 seconds only. I wonder if it's broken. Let's see. Let's take a listen.
Are you actually kidding me right now? I've been on my feet for 12 hours straight and you think I want to touch that nasty thing?
All right, let's go forward.
I swear. I'm already running on like 2 hours of sleep and now you want me to handle this disgusting mess too?
Okay, so there seems to be an audio cutoff here. Probably a max amount of tokens that we can generate here. Okay, I think my intuition leads me to believe that shorter generations are going to work much better, I think. Or generations that match the length of the audio that's fed in. Yeah, let me go ahead and generate let's say theme it with going to the store, something like that. Okay, going out to the store to buy some milk. Very, wow. Okay, very generic example. Alrighty. So, I think we should be able to get this. I think this should sound a little bit better for. So, my hypothesis is that using a reference audio of 5 seconds will generate audio that sounds very similar to it within the 5-second range, 5 to 10-second range. And then after that, it'll start to become very generic. And maybe if I use a longer reference audio, it'll be able to generate with it'll be able to generate the output audio, maintaining that style for a little bit longer. I think that is going to be my current hypothesis on that. Zero BTC, what's up? Thank you for tuning in. Training Higgs, absolutely not. On stream, I probably wouldn't train any of these models just because training generally takes a lot of resources. So I'll probably do that off stream and then try it out, maybe live. What's up, Sunshine? Welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah, try to get that top spot once again. Yeah, just in case you're tuning in right now, we are just going over Higgs. And, okay. So, I want to take a listen to this audio output here. So, here's the text to generate.
I have to drag myself to the store again because we're out of milk. Fantastic.
Okay, that was kind of sus at the beginning, but other than that, I think we'll try that generation one more time. Yeah, That's so we had something very similar, like Parlor TTS that was able to generate with like this like a system prompt. But I think the understanding of this model is a little bit better, um, perhaps than maybe like how Parlor did theirs, because I think Parlor had certain tags for each sentence that they trained on. And the way I understand this model is that they have a language or an audio understanding model that helped them to maybe tokenize how their training audio's bits sounded. So maybe it understands language better than whatnot. What if you split into chunks and get last spoken text as reference for the next one? That would probably be the best way to continue the speech and to that's probably a good engineering solution to the issue. Um, yeah, Zito. That's why I said the beginning was a little sus, but we'll take a listen to it one more time. This is a different generation.
Ugh, I have to drag myself to the store again because we're out of milk. Fantastic.
Okay, so that actually sounded a little bit more natural. If you guys are wondering what the reference audio sounds like, this is it here.
Ugh, this is gonna take forever. Why is everything so far?
What is that, like a California accent? It's got kind of that annoyed sound to it. So, I would say that it doesn't actually sound too close to the reference audio, but I mean, it's just a good generation in general. I want to add maybe, I want to do this with maybe like Farina, and then I need to pull some other local audio samples in here. So this is a local audio sample. If you guys don't know Farina, she's from Genshin Impact. I've never played the game, but I do like how some of the characters sound. Yusuf Muhammad, thank you for tuning in. How good, excuse me. I'm very, just had my coffee, so. How good is it at predicting durations? I don't know. It seems to be fairly good because it generates natural speech. So it needs to have understanding of durations, but you can't, I don't think you can specify how long you want the audio to be. So I'd have to test around with it a little bit more. Reference to 5 seconds. I think that's just something that I have limited it to. We could actually use a longer reference audio sample. Like the sample right now that I'm using is 7 seconds. So let's take a listen to this sample here.
I have to drag myself to the store again because we're out of milk. Fantastic.
Okay, didn't actually do the UG at the beginning. Let's try it. I don't like how I have to re-instantiate this every single time. So create messages with reference audio. So we're gonna create a while true loop here. Input want to continue yes or no. If continue, no break. I could just say if continue let's see, break else pass. We got some, oh my god. Oh, cont audio. Stop being dumb. Okay, don't need that. ifcon audio input new, or we'll say text to generate, enter text to generate. Continue, okay. And okay, we should be able to run this in a loop now so that I don't have to keep reloading the models to create the generation here. Actually, hold on. Let me make sure this isn't... Okay, that's new each time. Okay, so we should be fine here. Alright, let's take a listen, or let's take a look at the chat. Have I tried the new version of Dia Labs? No, not yet. I probably should try it out, but at the current moment, I have not. So maybe sometime in the future, but okay. Cloud CLI is great, but how can you use it in a cloud GPU? There's no reason to use it. Oh, okay, hold on. Let me rephrase my answer. What? What in the world? Okay. Cloud CLI is already running in the cloud. So all you need is just an instance of it running here. I actually have it running in Windows here. All you need is an instance, and then all you're doing is just sending the responses up to their servers. And then there's all the, Claude related stuff like MCP and all of the other goodies that exist out there. But yeah, as far as I'm aware, it's already up in the cloud. So we are able to... Okay, so we're gonna do some generations here and take a listen to them. So enter some text to generate, throw that in there. I'll make this a little bigger so you guys can see things. Alrighty. Alright, cool. Let's see. Let's see how this sounds.
Excuse me. Can you move your cart that's blocking the entire ASL? Some of us have places to be.
Okay. It's interesting how it, I guess for capitalization, it doesn't normalize it, so... Oh, shoot. Okay, let's do that. Right?
Why is everyone and their grandmother shopping right now? It's like a zombie apocalypse in here.
Alright, so I think it's not sounding as close to the system prompt that I would like it to. So it seems like the system prompt can kind of guide Higgs audio. But while it can guide Higgs audio, it also requires you to use a very descriptive audio file for it. So we're not at completely generalized... I don't think we're at completely generalized text-to-speech yet. So I think we'll get there eventually. The system I'm currently looking for is something that is very similar to like ChatGPT's advanced voice mode, where you can simply tell it to personify a specific personality, and then it should be able to output it like that. So we're getting there. But let's try some other examples here. Let's say generate audio but there could also be some other elements inside of Higgs audio that I'm missing that I need to figure out to maybe get it to follow the prompts a little bit better. Have I fixed non-verbal tags? Non-verbal tags do work here. And I'll show that in a little bit, but let me finish my thought process here. and then I'll get back to the comments. Generate audio while speaking very slowly and with a lot of, I like that, a lot of pauses. So this is very opposed to how the reference audio sounds. So it seems like what guides the output audio more in the system is the reference audio and not the system prompt. I would prefer that for me, for the output of the model, I would prefer that it follows the system prompt rather than the reference audio and the way it sounds. So continue. All right, let's try. Alrighty, let's take a listen to this.
Why does everything cost twice what it did last week? Highway robbery, I tell you.
Okay, actually, this was a little bit better. Generate audio while speaking very slowly and with a lot of pauses. Great. So, I want to find a way, and I don't want to. Oh, here, I'll just do it manually too. We'll zoom out a little bit here. Continue. Yes. Adjust. We'll add a global system prompt. Then we'll go like this. System prompt. We'll capitalize this bad boy. System prompt. Jump into here. And then let's see. We just say text continue, yes. Change system prompt, input change system prompt. Okay, cool. Alright, I think we can go with that here so that I can change the system prompt on the go. Okay. Wow, you guys have sent a lot of comments. Let's see. One thing missing is reinforcement learning and preference optimization, which tend to get a lot better with generalization. Yeah, I would agree. If there's a way for us to maybe grade the outputs to be more preferential to how we want it to sound, that would be probably pretty nice. That would be pretty nice. I thought there was a text-to-speech system that had reinforcement learning in it, but I might be thinking of something else, but I can't recall it off the top of my head. Yeah, Orpheus. I never really got to try Orpheus too much. And DMO Speech 2, I think DMO Speech 2 is great. I think it should replace Style TTS 2. It was created by the same author because DMO Speech 2 is based off of F5, and I think, in my opinion, F5 sounded better than Style TTS 2. So I think if you have an F5 model in another language, you should be able to fine-tune or train DMO Speech, but I don't think fine-tuning code has been released for that. Okay, so let me hop back into the work I'm doing here. We want to continue, yes. Change system prompt, no. And then here, what I'm gonna do is I'll put this up here, and then the audio file I'll slap here. Enter text to generate, say, let's paste this into here. All right. So the system prompt right now is telling Higgs audio to speak slowly with a lot of pauses. So let's see if it adhered to the system prompt.
The shopping cart has a wobbly wheel that sounds like a dying whale. Perfect.
Nope, it did not adhere to that system prompt for this sentence. Let's try it one more time.
The shopping cart has a wobbly wheel that sounds like a dying whale. Perfect.
Okay, interesting. Shoot, I canceled the script. And we'll get back in there. It was slower on that second generation. I do want to try it one more time with a third generation 3 strikes, and we'll see what happens with it. Let's see. CNR Games, thank you for tuning in. Yes, currently you are in time. So yeah, we are probably gonna be active for another let's say 40 minutes here. So we'll see. Yeah, DMO. Yeah, I'll be using for the second iteration of the Neuro project. But okay, continue. Yes. Change system prompt. No. Text to generate this. I was like, if I get audio samples that are longer than, okay, this is not gonna sound how I want it.
The shopping cart has a wobbly wheel that sounds like a dying whale. Perfect.
Interesting. Okay, let's continue. Change system prompt. Yes. Let's change this to be generate audio. Generate audio as if on a... Wait, hold on. Let me think. As if speaking as a radio host. And then there should be a way to specify scenes. So we can do this. The speaker is in a radio station booth. I don't know, speaking through a microphone. Alright, scene description end. Slap this in here. That should be the new one. And then let's try the same audio sample for that. We'll slap that in there and see if it changes how the output audio sounds. Have you ever noticed it's weird? A lot of TTS systems seem allergic to providing training code. I don't think it's weird at all. I mean, if you've spent thousands of hours developing a text-to-speech model, I can understand wanting to keep the training code private. Definitely understand the sentiment, but I feel it's more of like usually when the training code is released publicly, it's more of like a that is a luxury that we get. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on it. So yeah, when people release open source models, I never expect training code from them. But if the model's not good, then I just won't use it. So use voice cloning. And plus, like if a model is released open source, all the code for inference and all the paper and stuff is out there. Usually, people in the community are good enough at being able to make a training script for it. There's plenty of talented individuals out there that that work on that type of stuff, and they're really good at making training scripts for for these sources, for these models that get released. Use voice cloning. Continue. Yes. Oh, wait. I want to listen to this. Let's see.
The shopping cart has a wobbly wheel that sounds like a dying whale. Perfect.
Okay, that didn't sound any better at all. Or it didn't generate audio as if speaking as a radio host. Maybe I should specify it to be like low quality. I want to try to get low quality in here. All right, let's listen.
The shopping cart has a wobbly wheel that sounds like a dying whale. Perfect.
Alrighty, did not follow. So, as much as I'd like this to get to adhere to the system prompt, it seems like it is not doing it as accurately as I would like. Let's change it. Let's paste this in here. Generate low fidelity, say low fidelity audio, or let's say low quality. And then we'll generate that same sentence here. Yeah, alrighty. Let's take a listen to this audio.
The shopping cart has a wobbly wheel that sounds like a dying whale. Perfect.
Alright, did not improve there either. Okay, so there's an extent to which the system prompts can affect the output audio. I mean, this is just my initial assumption of it, but, so that means reference audio is going to play a key part in guiding Higgs audio. So we'll have to change that up. All right, comments. Let's run into here. TTS providers never provide training code. It's kind of sus, or they share the same data set. I generally don't think it's sus too much because most of these models are being trained, especially if they're open source, are being trained on kind of these same data sets. Like most open source models are being trained, at least that we've seen recently, on like Amelia, the Amelia data set for their model. Now, if it's like a proprietary model, yes, they're probably using private audio, and I'm assuming that private audio is copywritten, so they can't release those data sets because of certain legal reasons. I am not a lawyer, but that's my assumption of it and my take on it. I haven't gotten to play around too much with Orpheus TTS, so I think if I recall, Orpheus was a little bit slower than the other one, so I never really looked into it too much, so I can't really grade it too much. Mistral AI is getting to the speech space. Well, that's good to see. I will see probably some good stuff come out of them. Sued over GPT-4o. Did they get sued over GPT-4o and when? I don't recall. I thought it was something to do with like the Sky voice, right? If I remember correctly. I actually haven't kept up with the legislation or the rulings of those type of things. Try making the prompt change the voice to sound like... Okay. Let's try that. Maybe like this Farina voice. Maybe I've got to try one that they provided. So we'll go back to Belinda. This is one that they've provided.
'Twas the night before my...
Okay. Let's rerun this. Yeah, I don't remember if Scarlett Johansson won the the lawsuit or anything like that. So any tips to increase real-time factor? Well, unless you're good at optimizing CUDA or any of that stuff and optimizing layers, I don't really. I'm not the expert to go for that. So no tips. From what I've seen, compile is fairly fast. So and then distillation, that would be maybe distillation or quantization, but I don't know how that affects quality for something like Dia. 100 million unique voices and 8 billion people. Yeah, no, I, I think it's the reality is that it's almost impossible to like patent a voice or the style of a voice. I think like if you're arguing that a model sounds like you, it could sound like you, but it could be using, let's say, like um, a different person's voice or someone that just sounds very similar to how you speak. So I think that's a hard thing to legislate out. Um, let's continue here, and then someone recommended sound like, right? Um, ah, let's generate audio. Let's say to sound like a radio host. To sound low quality. Low quality. Let's say like listening to a radio. Alright, and then let's generate with that same sentence. Yeah, like if someone says explicitly, "Oh, we trained on your voice without your approval or consent," then yeah, that you probably shouldn't be announcing that. That's pretty bad. But that's you would really need to you would need proof that the samples are actually your voice being used, which is a hard thing. I don't know how it works legally, but it sounds like a hard thing to do for every case. All right, so let's see if this is any better.
The shopping cart has a wobbly wheel that sounds like a dying whale. Perfect.
Okay, definitely not low quality. Um, I feel like a lot of this is going to be trial and error, because if we go into GitHub here, I don't think there's any guide exactly on how to prompt it. Scene description start. Alright, let me see if anyone in the issues has come up with prompting. I think as it seems like as technology or as the development in the space is accelerating, because things are getting released faster and faster. I think people will be forced to release their training code so that people can use their models. Because what's going to happen probably is labs out there are going to release their full model and training code, and that is going to overtake the space. Like we've seen with a lot of the Quen models, I believe they're open source and you can train them. Yeah, I need to grab some water. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. What did I miss? What did I miss, chat? Maybe the quality is in the scene description. Okay, we'll try that out. Let's do that. Where is it? Here it is. Is in the scene description. All right. Generate audio to sound low quality, like listening to a radio, the speaker. There's a bunch of background. Let's say there is background noise. Audio is low quality. Okay, let's take a look. Someone recommended maybe it's in the scene area. All right, change. Shoot. Okay. Change system prompt. Yes. Enter new system prompt. Yes. And then give me the text to generate. Nunny. Okay. Yes. Change system prompt. Yes. Heh. Okay, I have some issue here. Okay. Yes. Enter new system prompt. And then here's the text. Okay. There it is. Hi, planning to start your first YouTube channel. Channel will be a storytelling for sleep. Think Chatterbox TTS server will be okay for it. Maybe. I don't know how good it is at whispering voices or like ASMR style voices. I would recommend you just try it, see if it works. If not, maybe try like F5 TTS or DMO speech for that. Am I Japanese? Somewhere along my lineage. Yes. But if you aren't aware, you know, what my channel used to be before AI took over was me just learning Japanese. So my channel was actually called Jerry's Japanese Journey. So lore drop there. I did that for about 2 years, and then after I graduated, I switched it over into AI, which you know, aligns with my degree. I think, you know, there's always room for improvement if we get YouTube videos and YouTube channels out there that are created with AI but people enjoy them. There's always room for the next level of quality for AI content creation, and that's just what's gonna happen, I think. Um, oh, here, let's listen to this. Did I listen to this already?
The shopping cart has a wobbly wheel that sounds like a dying whale. Perfect.
Okay, so this, yeah, this here did not follow the system prompt. Okay, okay, okay. Um, mm, okay, so yeah, I would like it to follow the system prompt. I also don't like doing everything in the command line terminal here. It just makes my brain hurt. There's too much text on screen. And so when I start seeing a lot of text on screen, my brain gets overflowed with not wanting to interact with anything on the screen. So, you know what that entails? That entails this this file right here called Gradio interface.py. And so we can just start to build one as gr define Gradio interface with gr blocks demo Higgs audio. All right, uv add Gradio if name, let's go main. I don't know, we'll just run main. Return demo. Okay. And then I want to install my Gradio package, github.com/sharedmic. Okay, uv add my Gradio. Shoot. What do we have? What do we have in here? Gradio is yucky. We'll just say uv add Gradio equals, there's like a 4 point something version, right? Bye Gradio. Release history, go to the latest, equals 4.4.1. Kitoki. Now we can add my GitHub package. Cool. Already CLS here. Alright, Gradio interface. Minimal offline. Alright, so pretty much just copy these here. Throw these into here. Alrighty, text to generate. Well, let's do one column. I don't need this. We'll say system prompt. Alrighty. Import Gradio utils as Gradio utils. Or hold on, no. From Gradio utils, import Gradio utils underscore utils, right? I think is how I have this. Okay. Available items, and then voices equals get available items. Root extensions wave and oh shoot, I need to put all of these into okay. So I don't want to do this myself, so here is where Claude is gonna come in. So this is super cool about Claude Code. So I'm gonna say I have a folder called voice prompts. In there are audio files and text files file pairs. I need you to put them all in their own folders with their respective names. For example, it will look like voice prompts, name of speaker, and then name of speaker.txt, name of speaker.wave. Do this for all files in that folder, please. So we'll throw that in there. We'll get that running. And this is going to allow it. This is going to do all those, put these all into folders so that I can use this properly. Valid extensions. I'll say all or none. And then for directory only, true. We'll just trust it. And then where's drop down, choices, voices, and then value. You go if voices, else none. Alright. Let me read some comments. Been using Chatterbox TTS in Comfy UI a lot lately because I can use SRT files for multiple speakers, timing, and overlap. Oh, okay. See, I thought Comfy UI, it originally originated as like a stable diffusion image generator, right? But feels like everyone uses Comfy UI for like everything, which is pretty cool to see. You just need to make an extension for it. So maybe I'll hop on the Comfy UI train someday and eventually get there, but we'll see. How long will it take for streaming companies start to use technologies? I feel like they kind of I feel like behind the scenes they probably do use some of these things. Maybe not for the audio yet, but we wouldn't know unless they told us. Let's see. But oh, there goes my camera one more time. Let me pop this in there. Oh, I also forgot. Since I'm just working on a Gradio interface, I'm gonna slap on some music. Hello, Full Dive Media. I'm doing well. I'm just putting a new battery into my camera because it died again. Okay. Alright. Where was I? Yeah, still creating the Gradio interface. Okay, but here, like I showed you guys earlier, Claude Code, I gave it that prompt. And look at this. Beautiful. Inside of the voice prompts folder, now we have all of the files separated into their own folder, which is awesome. That is exactly how I needed it inside of here. So, yeah, that is Claude Code being absolutely wonderful for many tasks, many tasks. Today's text-to-speech is Higgs audio. So currently, I was testing it in the command line interface, and it's working. But there's some things that I just want to be able to work with a little bit faster. So I'm building a Gradio interface for that. So row, column. I guess we'll have another column, the gr column. Audio output, yes. I guess we'll have a generate button, yes. Cool. Generate button dot click function equals, let's say, generate audio. Inputs equals something, and then outputs equal audio outputs. Cool. Need to make a function that's called define generate audio. System prompt text to generate voice drop down. Let's slap this into here. All right. And then I think that's how this one works. So serve engine. Oh, it shouldn't do this every single time. So I actually need a define load models. And we'll throw this in here. Return serve engine, and then we're gonna say model equals none, equals none, and then we'll say a global model. Don't even need to return anything. Create a load models button, gr button, load models, input outputs. Okay. Generate audio. Now we can define our audio generation here. Messages, create message. Go here, copy this guy, system prompt. Okay, let me read some comments. Let me read some chat before I start going ham on the GUI interface one more time. Let's see. Tested this model in Zero Shot. Found it less natural than Chatterbox and slower in generation. No current feedback yet right now. That's kind of what I am discovering and kind of trying to figure out. To what extent is this model controllable for speech? How consistent can we get it? I've heard some outputs from this model that sound absolutely fantastic, especially for like narration, but as far as how generalized it is for Zero Shot, I still have to test around a little bit more and whatnot. But it's a little cumbersome doing this all in like the terminal, in my opinion. So I want a nice graphical user interface to go about this. So I've never played Death Stranding, so yeah, I'd have to know a little bit. Is it okay to use this or make audio for commercial games? I believe it is. If we look at the licensing, it's like Apache 2.0 licensing, so I'm pretty sure that is commercially viable. But all right, time to go back into building the Gradio interface. System prompt, text to generate, voice drop down. Alrighty. Audio reference path. And then we'll go voices. We'll go voices root. It's just gonna be hard coded. Voice prompts. Voice wave path. It's going to be voice drop down dot wave. Alright, reference path, voice wave path, voice text path, system prompt. Okay. And then we can do output equals serve engine, model dot generate. We can do global model, right? Global model. Model dot generate. Return there is a way to return this properly. I have a Gradio interface .py. I forgot how to exactly return audio to Gradio, but so I'm gonna ask Claude, can you return audio properly back here so I can play it? I think it's data and sample rate. Yeah. Inside of generate audio.py. Generate audio. With Higgs, you can audit control TTS generation with ACR. What is ACR? I'm unfamiliar with that acronym. With the acronym. Yeah. I'm not a lawyer, but yeah, Apache 2.0 does permit commercial use. That is written down in the license. Well, if you're on Twitter, it's still gonna be at Grok, but if you're doing anything like coding, it's literally at Claude. Like, Claude has been very useful. Is so good. Okay, so what else do I need to build into here? We've got our generate button, audio. We got our load models button. I think that's it, huh? Oh, it even found some issues. Nice. Okay, cool. Perfect. System prompt. Already. I think this Gradio interface should work. So let's see if I made any mistakes in building it, and we'll see. Getting closer to an era where people may start making their own 10 or 20-minute alternative versions of their favorite anime. Definitely would think, I can definitely see that happening. Maybe 5 years. I don't know. Maybe 5 years. But like I did see some like AI trailer stuff, and like they're getting like really good. And I didn't even know like this type of quality is possible. Like I saw this AI trailer the other day of a Expedition 33 live action in like old style, and the adherence to actually being accurate to the game and like the characters in there was pretty fantastic. And I don't know what model that was, but I think it's Veo. It had to have been Veo 3. Let me see. Anime maybe, yes. Yes. Yeah, no, we're definitely getting there. Maybe 5 years is a little liberal on it. Maybe 10. 10. You can retranscribe TTS audio generated from Higgs into text. Yes, I agree. I think so. So, I mean, they are using Whisper. We can see that they're using Whisper. If we go into models, they have Whisper in here. So somewhere in the pipeline, it's being used. Why does Claude perform poorly on GitHub Copilot? Because Claude, because Claude Code is their own interface with it. So, what is it? I mean, if you think about this logically, Claude Code, Anthropic developed Claude. They released their own command line interface, so it would just be reasonable that it works best inside of their special environment. So they could be running different models there. They could be doing some crazy system prompting or some test time scaling. Who knows? But they definitely have something that's a little bit more magical than people interacting with their API. Okay, what do we got going on here? Ran into a Gradio error. I'm not running anything else on 7860, so I'm actually unsure. This could be a library issue with maybe PyWorld Fast API. There's another one that commonly gave me errors with it. So let's ask our friendly neighborhood Claude. I got this when launching. Any ideas? Okay. 1 year, I think, is a little too liberal. 1 year would be way too fast, I think, for people being able to just generate their own versions without having to get into the weeds with it. AGI is in 2 years though. I don't know. I mean, AGI is such a moving goalpost. Like, I think in general, we have these systems that are very, I guess you could call them intelligent. So, by some standards, you could already say that AGI has been achieved. Um, but for others, you could say that it hasn't. Um, yeah, I'm kind of on the fence on whether it has already been achieved, but I wouldn't necessarily say that everything that mankind can do has been achieved by these systems. What is the root of the... I'm gonna ask, what do you think is the issue? Let me try UV run Gradio. I don't know if I have a pedantic issue here. I might have a pedantic issue. Jeez. Let me see what. I didn't upload it, huh? Shit. Okay. Oh wait, no I did. Project Tommel. Pedantic. What's my numpy? Looking at the issue, this is a Gradio client version incompatibility issue. Issue is Oh, you guys can't see this? Let's see. UV run pip. Let's see. UV run pip. Sure, radio. Ugh, this is so annoying. UV pip. I mean, we already have the right one. UV add pedantic. AGI, let's see, back to it. Let's see, I'm not an expert enough to know whether or not it can be achieved with transformer-based models. So, I know like Yan LeCun has said that it's not. But yeah, we could be waiting for another step up in order to achieve it. Okay, so yeah, that was a pedantic issue, as I've ran into that something similar before. So we have it up here. So we probably do local host 7860. Alright, cool. We can load our model and get all of this tested up in here. And yeah. Alrighty. Well, what was that? 30 minutes for a Gradio interface, give or take. We can test things out again. Alright. Generate. Error. Alright. There is, I already have this here, so I just need to remove voice roots, actually. Let's go like this. OS dot path dot base name. Okay, I think this should work here. Okay, now we'll go back here. Yeah, VRAM consumption. Either we see some breakthroughs in VRAM consumption, or we see a decrease in price for VRAM. I think realistically, we see optimizations in VRAM consumption. I think we already have some of those with the quantization of models and all of that goodness. But yeah, because I don't realistically see GPU companies, aka NVIDIA, releasing model GPUs with like 48 gigs of VRAM and it being accessible. I think NVIDIA has earned their spot, though, with their CUDA dominance because of the amount of development they put into it. So, yeah, it's up to other companies to step up their game and try to get into the field. I heard AMD had tried to do it, but, you know, things did not go so well in the past. If anything, I think what's going to happen is Apple is going to... I think Apple and NVIDIA will probably be the top two for AI usage because Apple's MLX, I believe, is getting to be very good, I've heard. And then they've also have their unified RAM, I believe, or whatever, their unified RAM situation with their ability to use their M3 or M4 chips with lots of VRAM. So, if Zluda got more full-time devs, that's an interesting development. I had heard about something last year where there was like a little bit of like development stopped on Zluda or something like that back then, but I haven't kept up with it too much. So, okay, we have the model loaded. Going to generate some text with this. And then... is there any way to do a latent walkthrough of the space of sounds if you have 100 hours of audio? I don't know. But I also don't exactly know what you mean by that question either. I assume you can kind of go through the thought process of the model and analyze its latents, but yeah, I don't know how the 100 hours of audio would play into that space. Okay, so our Gradio interface is now working. Let's take a listen.
The shopping cart has a wobbly wheel that sounds like a dying whale. Perfect.
Okay, great. And now we should be able to change the system prompt, and and get things going up a little bit faster here. All right. So, any system prompts that I should try out, we are trying to induce a different, what is it? We're trying to guide the output audio with the system prompt. And we're specifically, or I'm specifically looking to guide it away from how the reference audio sounds. So this is how the reference audio sounds.
'Twas the night before my birthday. Hooray, it's almost here. It may not be a holiday, but it's the best day of the year.
So that's how that audio sounds. So it's already kind of slow, methodical, and exaggerated. So I want to try to get away from that. Okay, let's try fear. Generate audio in a fearful manner. With the voice quavering. Is that too big of a word for the model? Wobbling? Quavering is that's how you spell it, right? Yeah. We'll say as she speaks. And we'll generate there. Quivering? Is that it? Quivering? Okay. I can English. Let's listen to it with quavering.
The shopping cart has a wobbly wheel that sounds like a dying whale. Perfect.
Okay. Didn't let's try it one more time. Quivering? Is it quivering? Okay, yeah, quivering is a word.
The shopping cart has a wobbly wheel that sounds like a dying whale. Perfect.
Okay, so probably not. Okay, so not able to get it to quiver. Let's try to speed it up in a audio is spoken very fast without any pauses.
The shopping cart has a wobbly wheel that sounds like a dying whale. Perfect.
That was a little faster. Let's see.
The shopping cart has a wobbly wheel that sounds like a dying whale. Perfect.
Okay. I mean, it did go a little faster. Let's say extremely fast without any pauses. Oh, fast and energetic delivery. Spoken in a fast and energetic delivery. Let's try that. In a fast and energetic delivery.
The shopping cart has a wobbly wheel that sounds like a dying whale. Perfect.
Okay, so it's getting a little bit faster. If I remove this audio prompt and just say generate audio.
The shopping cart has a wobbly wheel that sounds like a dying whale. Perfect.
Versus fast.
The shopping cart has a wobbly wheel that sounds like a dying whale. Perfect.
Okay, so I think it does make it a little bit faster, but I would like it to be like, you know, like 1.5 times speed, right? All right, I did see some comments that I wanted to respond back to. Let's see. You could have a lot of audio, train the VAE, and explore what it has learned. I think you could build a system for that. If I remember correctly, right, the VAE is what encodes the audio into, let's say, like embeddings that the model can learn on. Yeah, I was gonna say in 1.5x speed. but I don't have enough VAE experience to understand what its outputs are and how analyzing that would be, how we'd be able to understand the embeddings of the output to understand how the text-to-speech might sound with it. Try angry voice or speak loud prompts. All right, we'll try that.
The shopping cart has a wobbly wheel that sounds like a dying whale. Perfect.
Okay, that's manageable, but let's just say 2x speed. 2x speed. Keep it simple.
The shopping cart has a wobbly wheel that sounds like a dying whale. Perfect.
Alrighty, so I think my initial assumption is probably correct. The audio file is going to be the main thing that conditions how the output sounds. So audio file, very relevant for how you want it to sound. Like my preference would be that it just takes the timbre and pitch of the speaker and instead and is able to read out the text, but then it takes a system prompt for how it should sound. That would be my preference, but I don't think they trained it that way. Oh yeah, I want to say, let's see, for the prompt, can you try audio is, let's say generate audio in an angry voice. We'll see that.
The shopping cart has a wobbly wheel that sounds like a dying whale. Perfect.
Okay, that was more of like a bored voice, so not necessarily angry. So I can't try Japanese because the model, I don't think, learned Japanese. Or maybe it did. Let me look at the code real quick. If there was Japanese in here, I should be able to see Japanese JP JA Ramaji might work. Pi. There's no Pi Kakasi. Okay. System prompt may be more for the background environment. Like you could say generate audio from a noisy room. I tried that a little bit earlier. So before we jump into Japanese, we'll try that. And then we'll try it in two different styles. There's a way we could just specify it without like the tags. And then we can try it without. So generate audio. Let's see, in a noisy room. We'll try this.
The shopping cart has a wobbly wheel that sounds like a dying whale. Perfect.
Okay, so that didn't work, but there is a way to specify. There's a way to specify the scene. So we do it something like this. Scene description start. Lots of background noise. Alright, we'll generate with that.
The shopping cart has a wobbly wheel that sounds like a dying whale. Perfect.
Alright, let's do something like end.
The shopping cart has a wobbly wheel that sounds like a dying whale. Perfect.
Okay, it's still not noisy. can I do something like this inside of the text to generate? Or is it going to read it?
Lot of background noise. The shopping cart has a wobbly wheel that sounds like a dying whale. Perfect.
Okay. Well, the fact that it didn't speak out these tokens right here shows that it does tokenize these specifically to not generate, but it's not adhering to our scene description. Okay, so Japanese. We want to try it with Japanese. Well, I need to get a Japanese voice up in here. So, what do I have locally that I could try? Let's see. Okay. Clover Days. I have some audio samples from Clover Days. Let's see if we can find some audio reference files. Oh, it's all messed up. My data is all screwed up here. It was not released with Japanese support, but I did see... Oh shoot, I just realized one of my data sets is completely screwed up because I was trying to find files and they weren't even there. So that's interesting. I'll need to go back and fix it. It was not released with Japanese support, but that doesn't hurt to try. Alright, I'm trying to find some samples real quick. Okay. We've got this audio file here. Let's say kurasu. What is this one? Kurasu girl. Throw this into here. I think we can make it a WAV file. I'll call this Kurasu girl. That wave, I think. Oh, you guys can see this. It is. And then I need to transcribe this into text. Right. Okay. And yeah, you guys can hear it, but I've got to whip out the Japanese skills here to try to listen to see how it sounds. Let's see.
クラスの中には
Kurasu no naka ni wa We'll do WA.
赤点ギリギリ
Akaten, giri giri,
の綱渡りの子
no tsu, huh?
もいるんだ。クラスの中には赤点ギリギリの綱渡りの子もいるんだよ。そんなかわいそうな子たちのことも考えようよ。
I actually don't know what it says there. Tsuna. Hmm. そんなかわいそうな形の子ど。考えよ。考えよ。Yo. Interesting. Alright, that's going to be close enough to what I got here. I muted it just so you guys didn't have to bear through the witness of listening to that multiple times. And then we can now relaunch the Gradio interface here. And then see what we got. Okay. What are we going to use? Let's say generate an audio, generate a sentence in Romaji for me to generate audio with give me Kana and Romaji. Alright. Oh. Alrighty, let's try this Japanese here. Let's try this here. And then we'll do Kurasu, girl. Load the models. And then I'll look at chat. Won't Google be sued for training with YouTube videos? I actually don't know. I believe there's something in... I think technically they own a lot of data that we upload to YouTube, so I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, so I can't really say too much on that. We'll just have to wait until the courts decide what's legal and what's not. Yes, we've got a new top one. Take back your spot or forever be second. Alright. Alright, Trophy Hunter. We are running a Romaji generation here, so we'll see if it's able to run it.
またミスに行かなきゃいけないなんてもう嫌だよ。
Okay. So with the way it generated this, my assumption is yes, it was trained on Japanese audio, because normally it shouldn't be able to speak like that.
またミスに行かなきゃいけないなんてもう嫌だよ。
It sounds very strange, but let's see if the tokenizer is very large. So if you guys, I looked at the audio tokenizer, and we should be able to find here. Let's go to Boson multimodal. We go into model. No. We go into models here. model. We've got this ginormous tokenizer, this ginormous BPE tokenizer. We can probably find hiragana in here. Mata? Oh. Oh, there's no hiragana. Oh, there's no hiragana in here. Okay, never mind. It can't do hiragana. Unfortunately, so. Alrighty, I stand corrected. Generate more, please. Can I try Portuguese? Unfortunately not. I don't have any Portuguese samples. Like off the top of my head that I could get. I would need to get some off of the interwebs. Let's try this. Generate. Kaimono kago naga mata kawarete iru n jan sayaku. Interesting.
カモのカゴがまた買われてるやん。最悪。
Okay. You know what? This actually adhered to the speaking slowly. Okay. Let's try this.
買い物カゴが待ってるじゃん。最悪。
Oh, okay. Okay, wait, hold on a second. So, I was previously trying out the system prompt with the English voice. It wasn't working for the system prompt, but for whatever reason, it wants to kind of work for Romaji here. Generate audio while speaking very slow. Let's see that again. 7 seconds. Okay. 4. Okay. Okay. 7, 4. Did it die on me here? Oh, 41. Okay, that's very slow. 4, 5.
買い物カゴがまた買われてるやん。
Okay, not as slow. Okay, so it did a few slow generations, and it now is doing very fast generations. 6, 5, 3, 4, 7.
買い物カゴがまた壊れてる。
Okay, let's change this to English and see if it maintains the same kind of speech. All right, generate audio while speaking very fast.
Why are there so many people here? So annoying.
That is not very fast.
Why are there so many people here? So annoying.
Okay, very slow. Maybe we can get it being a little bit slower.
Why are there so many people here? So annoying.
Alrighty, well, the system prompt did kind of work for a little bit, and now it's not working. Well, anyways, I think that's going to be pretty much it for today's stream. I kind of have a little bit more of an intuition on how this model is working in terms of guidance. So my conclusion for the day is that the Higgs audio text to speech, it generally gets the way it determines how it wants to generate the output audio is it heavily relies on the reference audio that you provided it. The system prompt can kind of guide how it sounds, but overall, depending on how your reference audio sounds, that's going to really determine how the output audio sounds. And what I would have preferred is if the audio file only guided it for timbre and pitch, so that you could accurately clone a voice, and then be able to specify how it should speak in the system prompt. But I don't think we're there yet for it. Maybe fine tuning it will allow for that. But as of now, that's kind of my initially drawn conclusion about this. If there are people out there that are playing around with this model more, please leave some comments to maybe correct me and show me how I can better guide this model to achieve the goal of using the system prompt for generation. But yeah, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to send it right now. I will be signing off very soon here. Thanks for the super chat, Jared. Very much appreciate it. Yeah, can this model stream responses? I think it can, but I'd have to check. This model should be producing outputs token by token, as it's an autoregressive model to transformer, and then you should be able to convert those audio tokens back into audio. But you run into a weird thing with converting audio tokens into how does it work? Go audio to mel. Yeah. Well, basically, whenever you're trying to convert audio tokens back into speech that you can hear, you run into these weird peaking issues if you have too many chunks you're trying to append after each other. So you would need to figure out a way to append those chunks at areas of speech where there's less sound, or if it's like a 0 dB value, to make it sound a little bit better. Yeah, I need to go over my terminology again. I don't know why my brain is blanking out on the terminology to use here. Have I tried cloning my own voice? I have not yet, but yeah, I'll be doing a little bit more testing off stream just to do this. And then yeah, no, once again, thank you for the super chat. Very much appreciate it. Hey, like I told you, Sunshine X, last stream, you know, if you want to get to the top, send me some super chats, and you know, the YouTube algorithm's gonna do its thing. And I'm just kidding about that. But F5 TTS, 0 shot wise. Maybe I would say the quality that I've heard out of Higgs TTS on some samples shared on my Discord sound like are better than what F5 could accomplish for like an audiobook, for example. Now, what I was trying to do right now was to generate more natural style of speech, something that maybe would be spoken out by an AI assistant, but I was not able to really get that. But there's a lot of stuff I have to test out. I mean, there's only so much I could test out in an hour, and there's a lot of stuff that I need to do with that. So, what's the name of the model? Higgs Audio. It's from this lab or company, whatever it is, called Boston AI. It kind of sounds like Boston AI, but Boston AI. So this is the model we were trying out. I need to try out a little bit more of like this system prompt type of stuff to see if we can get something that see if we can guide it a little bit more. But yeah. Oh, really? I didn't know YouTube could block super chats. Um, but no problem. I mean, I appreciate everything that you guys do to help out the channel. So subscribing, sharing, liking, all of the good stuff like that very much helps the algorithm. Commenting, engaging, all of that stuff is helping out the channel. So did you try not specifying a voice? I have not tried dual speakers yet. I want to. I think I need to build this pipeline to accept multiple speakers to do that. So we might investigate that in a future stream. But what I want to do is play around with this model off stream, and then maybe do a stream with some of the stuff that I've learned, and then a YouTube video, of course, on some of the stuff that I've learned to maybe talk about this model a little bit more. I do want to get back into developing my AI VTuber assistant project, the Neurosama clone that I was working on last week. But, you know, what are they? Side quests like this are always, you know, are acceptable to go and accomplish. So, yeah. Once again, like I said, I will be signing off soon. So, thank you guys all for coming in and joining and talking and giving me some suggestions to run with this. Like I said, if anyone has a better way to use this model, I am awaiting your comments in the YouTube comment section. If you want to join the Discord server, you can find it in the description of this live stream, I think. I don't know if I included it there. But it should be inside of my YouTube video description. And like I've said this before, but I get busy, so sometimes I am not active in the Discord, but you know, I try my best there. But yeah, I'll send it once again in the chat there. You can go and join the journey there, and yeah. So, alrighty, guys. Yes, unfortunately, you joined at the end of the stream. So the summary is that we went over Higgs audio. That is a very brief summary. Then you could scroll back like 10 minutes to get the summary of it once I put this into the archive. But yeah, Claude Code should be able to figure out a lot of these things for you and for us, and should be very useful in getting these streams to chunk back naturally. But alrighty, guys, that's gonna be it. Thank you guys for joining, and my camera just died, so that is a time for me to go. So I will see you guys later, and have a wonderful rest of your guys' day, and see you later.